Hello, everyone. How are you today? I'm Kelly Lee Sappenfield, and today I'm going to talk about does it set you off when someone just tries to tell you what your opinion should be and what you should do about it? I know it does me. And today I want to talk about that and standing in our own power. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Kelly Lee Sappenfield. I'm a fifth generation metaphysician, soul evolution coach, speaker, and author. And today I kept getting texts about they knew it's my demographics that how I should vote and what my opinion should be. And I kindly replied to the text and I said, no, thank you, you know. And they kept texting me, oh, yeah, you're a mid-age white suburban woman that's middle class or upper middle class. And so you belong in this category. I don't belong in any category. Don't put me in a category of your choosing. I'll put me in my own categories. Thank you very much. Right? How many times have people, and I'm not talking just the random political texts that and calls we're all getting right now, right? But how many times have people tried to put you in the box and you need to stand up in your power? Whether it's someone that is saying, hey, I know you're going to vote for me because you're my demographic and therefore you don't have a choice to say, oh no, thank you very much, but I'm voting for someone else. It can be standing up in your power, not only to things like that, but actually in your intimate circle of people. Now, as you come in, say hi in the comments, and if you need to allow StreamYard to let me see your name and stuff, I'd love to say hi back and see where you're from. But yes, just like today, I politely replied, and they kept on. So finally, I was like, yes, you're right. I'm a 50-year-old white female that fits in your quote unquote demographics, but I am not voting for you. And I'm sorry if you don't like that, but please quit texting me because there's nothing you can say that's going to change my mind. My mind is made up. I have educated myself and I know who I'm voting for. Well, it's the same when it comes to, oh my gosh, that neighborhood is diversified or that neighborhood's not diversified. And if it's not diversified, if you don't fit in the diversification of that neighborhood, how many people have had realtors say, oh, you don't want to live in that neighborhood? And you say, why? Well, because that neighborhood isn't you. How do you know that neighborhood's not me? Well, you know, you weren't over here in this neighborhood. I've had realtors do that. And I've had realtors think that I wanted to go to a neighborhood to where I swear every person went to the exact same house of worship and they had all the exact same signs in the front of their yard. And I'm talking the whole neighborhood, didn't matter what street we drove down on in this neighborhood. And I'm thinking, okay, this is the cult neighborhood. I don't know what religion they necessarily are. I don't know where their house of worship necessarily is, but I definitely don't want in this neighborhood because clearly if you aren't a member of this, whatever it is, you're not part of this neighborhood. That's not the neighborhood for me. And this realtor actually thought this was going to be a great neighborhood for me. And I had to look at them and say, yeah, no. Don't ever be afraid to look at someone and say, yeah, no. And if they won't listen to that, then say, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to walk away. Or I'm sorry, quit texting me. Or I'm sorry, you're so much of a negative in my life right now, I'm going to have to step away for a while. I'm sorry you're in this place. You clearly don't want my help with it. You want to stay in this negative space. I can't do anything about it except for I've got to protect my space. And so I'm going to have to step away for a while and stand in your own power. That is so important for all of us to do. It doesn't matter how we're standing in our power. If we can't own up to a political text and when we say no thank you and they keep on going, then how can we stand up to those people that are in our intimate circle that are not necessarily a positive in our lives? And how many people get to the point to where they can't even stand up if it's gone beyond just being a negative and it's become abusive? Now, some people, I've been told, believe that the car warranty robocalls are getting to the point of being abusive. I'm not saying that's not true, but at the same point, there is a line. But that line can never be crossed if we stand in our power. Now, unfortunately, some of us were raised purposely not to stand in our power. And so as adults, it's scary. It feels weird. It feels confrontational. It feels like, oh, this isn't supposed to be all about me. I'm supposed to take care of everyone else. And whatever I need has to come last, if at all. No. I've seen people in extreme abusive relationships, and I've tried to help them get out of them. But I know this, that it all comes down to standing that you are powerful enough and worthy enough of it. So whether it is someone that's going through a hard time right now and they've turned so negative that you need to say, either let me help you or I need to step away for a little bit. Or it can just be those calls, those robocalls or texts, and you standing up in your power and what that means. Because you know what? It is not worth our time, our energy, our trouble when someone says, oh, this is how you're supposed to think. This is what you're supposed to do. And just because you fit in this demographic doesn't means you can't question what we've decided for you. Now, excuse the French, but I call BS on that one. Just because I am in the demographic that one person thinks that I should fit into their box does not mean necessarily I'm going to fit into their box. Now, in some instances, I may fit in their box. But whether or not I fit in their box or not, they don't have the right to tell me I'm going to fit in their box. They don't have the right to tell me who I'm going to vote for. They don't have the right to tell me where I'm going to live, what I'm going to do with my life as far as a career. No one does. It's the same as a couple hundred years ago, if you were born the carpenter's son, guess what? You became a carpenter. You really didn't have any choice in the matter. Didn't matter whether you knew how to nail in a nail or not, you became a carpenter. Well, you know what? We no longer live in those times. So for people around us to say, oh, well, we've always done it this way, so you have to do it this way. No. For people to say, well, you know, everyone in the family is this, be it a career, a political affiliation, a religion, anything. And so therefore you have to be that way? No. Can you respect them and respectfully say no? Yes, you can. But sometimes if they refuse to hear the respectful no, you have to get up and you have to say no. And then you have to act upon that no. You can't say no and then the next day say, oh, okay, the entire family's doctor, so I'm signing up for med school. You have to stand up in that power, your power. Your opinions count. Your ideas count. Whatever you were put here to do counts. So don't let anyone, whether, like I said, it goes from your family to the community you live in, to the country you live in. Don't let anyone make those decisions for you. And it may not feel comfortable right at the beginning. You may be like, oh, well, this person keeps texting me, and instead of me just telling them no or blocking them, I keep reading their texts, and their texts keep upsetting me, or their text keeps making me angry, or their text keeps making me feel whatever. That's when you need to stand up in your power. And if you need to block them, block them. If you need to walk away from them, walk away from them. If you need to tell them no, and it doesn't matter what they say, they're not changing your mind, the answer is no, then do so. Now, I've gotten calls. There's one thing that I did not miss when we lived in Abu Dhabi, and that was the robocalls. I have to honestly say that I did not miss the robocalls at all. And now that it is a political season, I'm almost terrified to answer my phone sometimes when it's an unknown number. Not that it says spam call or anything like that on it. It's just like, okay, here's a number, but it doesn't have a name already in my contacts list, right? And you almost pause because it's like, is this another robocall? But at the same time, you can't let those people that do those robocalls block you from picking up the phone for what may be a great opportunity or a new client or a new friend. So think about where you have got your healthy boundaries set, where you're letting others' opinions override your own, and how often do you just say no? And I'm not being Nancy Reagan here. I'm just saying no. I'm not doing that at all. Granted, I grew up under that umbrella in the 80s. But what I'm saying here is say yes to you. Say yes to you. Saying yes to you, your opinions, your feelings, your wants, your desires is in no way harming anyone else. Now, I know some of y'all will say, well, what if you're a mother and you want to go party and you leave your infant child all by itself? You said yes to being the mother to that infant child. So you need to keep saying yes, being a mother. There is a difference between having the care of a small child under you and having the care of an adult child. What the difference is that mother of the young child can still have the career she wants, the finances she wants and needs, the opportunities she wants and needs, and be a responsible parent. So say yes to yourself. Don't find the excuses of why you can't say yes. Say yes. How many people can come up with an excuse on why they can't say yes. I bet you quite a few of you could. So stop with the excuses and start saying yes to yourself. What do you think this whole bloody year has been about? Getting clear in your vision. Hello, 2020. Getting clear in your vision of what you're supposed to be doing in this life. And where things are working and where things are not working for you. And one of those things, I bet a lot of you have been shown, is where you're not standing up for yourself, where you're not standing in your own power. Put those shoulders back, stand up, and be proud of who you are. So, I really hope you hear this. And I really hope that you take it to heart, whether it's standing in your power because you get those crazy political texts or the car warranty people and you tell them how many thousands of times to take you off and you're on the do not call list, but you still somehow seem to get called, right? It doesn't matter where or who it's with. What matters is you. What matters is you having the strength and the confidence and the worthiness to stand in your power. Because let me tell you, once you start doing that, you're going to notice a change. And it's not that you're going to notice a change with everyone around you. You're going to notice a change within. And you're going to notice, oh my gosh, why haven't I done this already? Why haven't I been willing to stand up for myself in the little things and the big things? Because energetically, they all count. Now, I could have just let my phone kept going off with texts and texts and texts and texts and driving me crazy because every time I'd have to open up my phone and see who texts me and it's like, oh my gosh, it's that political campaign again. Or I could have done what I did and just say no. And when they came back and said, well, I fit their demographics, and I told them no again, I blocked the number. It's like, no, you're not going to bug me. You're not going to try to tell me what my opinion is. You're not going to try to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing to fit your wants and desires. I'm going to do what I choose to do. So those little things count as much as those big things count. Because when we can do the little things, when those big things happen, it's a heck of a lot easier because we've had the practice with the little things. I really hope you get this message. And I really hope you do go out and vote. And like in Texas, early voting started today. So do go out and vote. If you're an American citizen, it is your civic duty. But vote for who you want to vote for. Don't vote because you're a certain demographic. And don't vote because, well, everyone in my family or my community or whatever is voting. No, you vote for who you want to vote for. You vote on the ballot initiatives and questions and everything, what you believe is the right thing to do, and you stand in your power. Be well, friends. Enjoy today. And always expect miracles. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.